this one, it's just a whole pod's going to be uncomfortable. There's a lot of things being talked about right now in terms of age differential between men and women and about older guys basically dating younger men. And that, you know, the narrative changed over the last few years since 2017. I mean, if a guy is 5 years older than a girl now, they pull the creep card out all the time. It's creep, 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 creep. Obviously, if anyone's underage, that's fucking terrible. That's just no bueno. My baseline is we're going from 18 up. If someone is 18 and they're dating someone 10 years older, yeah, their brain isn't there yet, I agree. Or 20 years, yeah, they're highly influenced, the power dynamic, all of that. But if people are in a relationship, I would think, you know, that would be better than casual sex. Again, consensual, above age, blah, blah. But I just think about this because, you know, in Hollywood, this was not an issue 5 years ago. I'm not saying it wasn't an issue, but what I'm saying is that I think Zoomers are coming hard saying creep, creepy, creep, creep. And there's a lot going on with this. I'm going to try to cover it and try to figure out how to make it look like, I don't know, people are going to come after me. So, I mean, it's a dicey topic because they're all going to say, well, what are you? You know, you're fucking 52 years old. You're not married. I think that first of all, no one talks about all the women that marry old men. Anna Nicole Smith married some fucking old-ass motherfucker. It was like 60 years. Look it up. Put the picture up. Do you say anything about that? We know what's up. God bless her. God rest her soul. She died, you know, too young. That dude was on his deathbed. What I want to point out is a bunch of things. Age is not just a number. Age, there's a legal consent. And then, of course, there's an emotional consent, a worldly consent, the power dynamic, all that stuff. If that's all not there. But you will meet, there can be, I'm not saying it's correct, but I'm just saying there are people, there might be a 20-year-old young man, I'll just switch it so people don't get triggered, and a 30-year-old woman, and the 20-year-old is more mature than the 30-year-old. I mean, that does happen. You agree with that, right? There are 20-year-olds that make more money than some 30-year-olds. All that stuff, right? So just because one thing is one thing, it has to be. I like to start with the law has to be obeyed, and I do agree with like the power dynamic has to be in check, and then I have to say that, you know, the mental makeup has to be there. All of this other stuff we have to look at and go, okay, what are we saying here? Like, you guys would fucking freak out if you were in the 70s. I mean, you think Jack Nicholson was like, well, you know, she's only 25, and, you know, I'm 60, I'm 35. I don't fucking know. Like, this was, the norm was like you became a successful person, and then you always had a hottie on your arm. And yeah, I mean, Catherine Zeta-Jones was way younger than Sean Connery in that movie Entrapment. That was the actual first time I noticed, like, the Hollywood thing where they say, like, it's always a young ingenue and a much older man, which goes into my next thing. You want to talk about grooming? Fucking Hollywood grooms us, the viewers, and the media grooms us. So why did I see it that time at that moment? Because Catherine Zeta-Jones, when she did Zorro, fuck, man, you want to go deep with this? You'd never seen a hotter person. It was Salma Hayek. There was a lot of hot women in Hollywood, but it was Salma Hayek was like the apple of everyone's eyeball. And then Catherine Zeta-Jones came out of Wales and was like, took the mantle. And that wasn't easy because Salma Hayek is the hottest thing this town had seen in a long time. And then fucking Zeta-Jones came in. So she does this movie. She's the height of her fucking hotness with Sean Connery. I think he was probably fucking 70 and she was 27 or 60. Listen, there was at least 35 years age difference. There was a love connection there. All this stuff. Then she ends up fucking marrying Michael Douglas. He fucking scooped her up, took her off the market. All of young Hollywood's going, what the fuck, bro? That's real. Like, we're all like, yo, no one, we didn't even get a chance to fucking cold read. Like, I mean, she was out of everybody's league. Obviously not like Brad Pitt or Leo or somebody, but like every young actor was like, who is that? Well, oh my God. I mean, like the hottest. She did a movie with Antonio, and then she just blew up. But she did a movie with an older dude, and then she married an older dude. Now, quite frankly, those older dudes would the Zoomers would call zaddies. That's another thing that we have to talk about. You say these guys are creeps, but then you have a whole term called zaddy. I mean, Sean Connery is the most manly man possibly ever be in Hollywood, and he could get it until his death. That guy could get it in the coffin. He's still getting it. And Michael Douglas can get it too. I mean, he's a long lineage of fucking studliness there. Consensual. He had $200 million. He's a big movie star. She's becoming a burgeoning movie star. Hey, man, I think they're still married, right? So this has happened throughout time. You can see older men marrying, dating. I mean, it's what I'm talking about is, listen, it all has to be looked at, but all of a sudden just call somebody because there's a 10-year difference. Creep. Like, I get it. If somebody's in their teens or early 20s, I get it. But if a chick is 30 and the guy's fucking, I don't know, 45, is that weird? I don't know. If we're going to cancel them, which again, everybody should be looked at, then do you know we have a fucking porn category since I've been born called barely legal? How does that exist? Barely legal. Fresh off the legal train. It's a whole fucking category. Barely legal. They make these women who are fucking literally 18 years old fresh in the porn. That's fucking terrible. That's been going on since I've been born. What do you have to say about that? Where's the outrage for that? Where's the outrage for Pornhub? Who knows who's fucking uploading? I think they got in a lot of trouble, but they're still going. So yes, you have to have this outrage here, but it also has to go over there. You also have to have the outrage for women that are younger that date older guys who take care of them. Do you know what I'm saying? But if everything's consensual, then can we have any outrage? That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm fine with the outrage as long as it's aimed at all the proper targets. And then I want to talk about this, how no one realizes history. And I did this joke the other night, and Kyle, who does my pod, is like, yeah, people weren't really with the joke because they think you're like co-signing these fucking, a creepy behavior. And what I'm trying to say is society groomed us. Like all these kids that fuck their teachers. I'm not talking about the girls. I'm talking about the kids, the dudes, like 16-year-olds. Their teachers are fucking Hot for Teacher. It was the number one fucking song when I was growing up. Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. And the teacher went through with it. But how about this one? This was one of the biggest hits of my life. And I want you to watch this. How many people have heard this song before? She's just 16 years old. Classic, right? The song came out when I was 10 years old in 5th grade. Do you remember this? Benny Mardones. 42 years ago. I'll take you into the night and show you. Oh my God. That's the real video. He looks so fucking innocent and scared. Doesn't even know. Now, if that is what you're talking about, I'm with you. But no one talks about that. This guy's... I had that striped shirt, by the way. 80s, skinny, Iggy Pop body, fucking sunken cheeks. Probably, did coke sometimes. Maybe not. I don't know. Beautiful hair. I mean, this girl fucking looked like she was in 8th grade. That was a video. It might have been on MTV. So what am I saying is, suddenly we've gotten this super awareness over the last 42 years of things that might have been fucked up, right? We keep evolving. That raised a whole generation of everybody. I didn't fucking subscribe to that, but it's like, who knows what that tells us subliminally, right? Like, oh, young, hot chicks, right? Obviously 18 and above, but she's not. She's 60. And he's looking at her like a fucking creep. This was on TV. So what I'm telling people when you do all this stuff, you got to know your history, okay? I mean, I'm a product of John Hughes movies, all right? Basically, wait till your parents go on vacation, throw a huge party, invite the fucking dudes from Road Warrior, have every hot chick wearing neon, and the best thing is build a woman in your room with your best friend. That's what I was like. Those guys were like 15. They built like this hot 23-year-old woman. She was going to fucking take care of them. Again, I'm not saying I'm not co-signing anything, but I want to let you know is what our society has been. And I'm not making excuses for anyone's behavior, but I also, because the outrage has to be reasonable. You know, a 5-year age difference is unless it's illegal, a 25-year-old dating a fucking 19-year-old, is that weird? Maybe, I guess. I don't know. A 50-year-old dating a 20-year-old, yeah, I get it. This segment's just not going to do me right. So wait, how about this one? You ready? There's another one. Classic. It's 1984. This came out 4 years after that one.
She was only 17, but she was sexy.
17 years old. I used to sing that shit all the time in fucking 8th grade. Along with ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man. Like, we didn't know what the fuck we were singing. We were 14 or 13. She was only 17. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, like, our culture has a history of doing shit that is not good, and now we're correcting it, which is good, but people act like it just came out of nowhere. That's what I'm trying to say. Is I'm just trying to give a little history lesson here. And, let's do it correctly. Let's vet each case. And, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to go after these dudes, if they're fucking being bad, you got to get them. But you also have to go after the gold diggers, and you have to go after the other stuff. Okay, that's enough of that subject because fucking people are going to dig into it. So we have all this outrage for that, right? We have all this outrage. If it's bad, we have to stop it. But then we have what we have called I identify culture. And what I identify culture is also accept me culture, right? So we're at this new place in our culture where if somebody feels a certain way, that's how they are, and we're not allowed to judge them. But where's your baseline? Right? We all have to have a baseline with which we cannot cross. Okay? So if I may look a certain way, but identify as something else. Okay, but where's your baseline? It doesn't happen. We're supposed to accept that with human beings, but it doesn't happen in situations. If I fucking order broccoli as a side with my steak dinner at Morton's and they bring me asparagus, I go, dude, I want broccoli. He goes, I know it looks like asparagus, but it identifies as broccoli. Okay, I would take the broccoli and fucking throw it on the ground. Do you understand? I'm paying $89 for the steak. They're not going to fucking tell me that asparagus is broccoli. That doesn't happen. If I go to the bank and I only have $1,000 and I'm trying to make a withdrawal for $5,000, they go, you don't have enough money. You'll be overdrawn. And I go, I identify as richer. Like, you understand? So in those situations, it's easily quantifiable. But for some reason in human beings, it's not. And there's a big argument with people because a feeling, an essence, a belief. So if that feeling is strong enough, then you can go with it. Okay? And if you're an adult and you have the money and you want to change your biological makeup, and you feel that it won't affect your mental state, and you feel the next 50 years of your life you're going to be good with that decision, then do it. It's not for me to choose. I am not you. But that is the example of a bigger thing, of the feeling, right? But if we followed our feelings every day, I would be joining in the crime sprees. I would also be hitting people who are on crime sprees. If we had a feeling, our society, if we just followed our feelings every day, we would be lawlessness. Listen, I'm a very feeling guy, okay? I get a lot of feelings. If I fucking give in to them all the time, meaning I have to feel them, I have to process them. Because if I just go with them, I'm going to be in jail multiple times over. I'm driving and fucking guy, I got a feeling I want to fucking ram this motherfucker. I can't ram him. I want to. And this is where's our baseline. So we're just supposed to accept everything, but we don't accept everything. So I'm sure all you guys saw this. This is with a sex therapist. So you're going after these dudes, which again, if people are creepy, go after them. But this is supposed to be an accepted thing. She's a sex therapist, and this is something I never fucking heard. It seems like a real dress up for something.
I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are Probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture.
Oh, really? Really? That's odd. Why? So this accept me culture will go over into this. You understand this now? People are trying to erase any type of baseline or moral baseline, but we aren't allowed to just drive like this on the road, right? We aren't allowed to drink and drive. We aren't allowed to wipe our asshole and shake hands. I mean, we can, but probably will get us in trouble. We're not allowed to just grab candy bars out of 7-Eleven, but apparently we can. But this person's a sex therapist, and she's talking about minor attracted persons. She's talking about pedos. Can I even say that? She's talking about and they are vilified. They're vilified. These poor peepees.
Most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them.
Oh, okay.
And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population.
A marginalized population. They should be marginalized. They should be fucking put over on that fucking island. They are unsafe to others. This is exactly who should be marginalized. Please, I want to have this lady on my podcast. Get her to do it. What are you talking about? Not only is it fucking disgusting, it's a fucking crime. It's also a crime against humanity. Morally fucking disgusting and just fucking wrong. There are laws set up for this. Let's keep going.
You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because
Now remember, this is probably a super left liberal, and that's fine. But let's not, and any guy who's fucking dating a girl who's 20 and fucking he's 30 or whatever, he's pedo. Like, pedo's being thrown around like everywhere now. Just pedo, racist, and phobe. No, we shouldn't say pedo. Let's take the sting off of that.
The term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult that we hurl at people in order to harm them or slander them.
It was a diagnostic treatment. It's also a fucking label of people that are fucked up.
I also prefer person-first language that recognizes that any label we might apply to a person is only part of who they are and doesn't represent everything that they are. We are all...
So if you're a minor attracted person, but you're really good at accounting, let's look at the good of this. Account how many young people there are in your first grade classroom. I mean, this has gotten fucking... Do you see what people want to do, man? I'm sorry. I'm all about not being judgmental, being open-minded. I think I know where she's going to go with this, but you know, that's not a murderer. That was a sharp object, intrusive person. You didn't get stabbed. You got intrusively poked with a metallic object. That's not a perpetrator. That is a downtrodden, misunderstood person with sticky fingers when they went into your gas station. I mean, I'm all about making things better, and I don't know enough about this, but I'm going to say that, yeah, there are people that apparently have this in their brain and they can't fucking control themselves, so they have to be either highly medicated or put on a fucking island. But to take the sting...
people first with many different facets or parts of ourselves. And this includes...
So if I'm a person with many facets of myself and I'm running down the street after someone with an axe, do you want to get to know me better? Hey, we're people. I know you don't mean to wield that axe. Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer's eating some dude's leg. You're a person, dude. At some point, somebody's a fucking demonic monster. You ever think of that?
Minors.
Folks. Oh, good old folks. She's got a whole... She's got a spread fucking sheet. She's got a spread fucking sheet. Why do these types always have these type of glasses and they shave their dome and they always wear like that retro dress? There's something in that. It's a whole to-do.
This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is. You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are. And you don't get to choose to be a minor attracted person. Some minor attracted persons are attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted to adults at all. Some minor attracted persons are also attracted to adults.
You want to talk about pedophilia? People aren't even talking about that now. They're talking about predators. Don't even talk about that. You want to talk about groomers? That's bad. You bump into a fucking chick at Kinko's, you're fucking committed a felony. This is not grooming. This is not predatory. This is fucking pedos. Yeah, this person's brilliant. It's like calling murderers life-removing persons. It's a joke. It's a joke, man. Why do you think conspiracy theorists are always right? Why do you think they're called conspiracy theorists? Because conspiracy theorists keep you honest. Fuck you. If it wasn't for people like me, you would fucking be run by this shit. Do you understand? They want to disrupt America so much. This is a fucking, listen, I don't know nothing about this lady. I'd love to talk to her, let her get her thing out, then let me just come back with every bullet point. Like, I guess if she's saying something in the most way as she's saying, like, I have these feelings, I'm fighting these feelings, I'm not going to do it. I guess she's talking about people that don't act on their feelings, which is very good. And she's saying that they don't choose that, which I don't know enough about it. I do know it's on the DSMR, I think. Pedophilia is like a mental issue. It's not something you choose, probably. I don't know enough about it. But to normalize it and to say, like, oh, well, we got to stop villainizing these people. That's who you villainize. A crook is not a crook. He's somebody who long-term loaned from your fucking jewelry drawer. Stop villainizing him. Stop marginalizing these people. That term marginalizing is fucking so dumb. Some people need to be marginalized. If not, open the jails up. Let's just do it. I mean, like, everybody has a feeling. And yeah, let's go through each case and talk to people. I don't know what it's like to be a schizophrenic. I'm crazy, but I hear schizophrenia is like you cannot stop the voices. That's insane. So if you're telling me something like this that's like overpowering you and taking you, okay, then like, and you've got to be fucking medicated or fucking strapped up and put in the home. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like a lot of people that are very calculated, that are very fucking sick in the head. We're in a time in our society where they're going to want to normalize everything. And that's why I'm becoming more fucking, like, I'm not a Jesus freak, but like moralistic. I didn't think I ever had bad morals, but I'm like, ew. Like, it seems like the left and liberals, I'm not even the right. Listen, there's just as many pedo Republicans as there are pedo demos. There's a big list. You can go and look this shit up, but there are. But because my friend was telling me about it, and there's fucking tons in politics. Like, that's real. You can look up the list of convicted people. But there's a reason why. I mean, Megan's Law exists for a fucking reason, okay? There's varying degrees of offenses. But do you know that if you're drunk and you take a piss by a school and somebody spots you, they could say that you're, even if it's like 1 a.m, they could say you're exposing yourself to that school, and you're going to be on a Megan's Law list. That could be a misunderstanding, right? But this is like, hey man, I'm going to let you know right now that, that kid in the sandbox, I like that kid. But understand me. Look, he's got a little sand bucket. He's on a swing. I mean, dude, check this out. This is fucking, what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Conspiracy theorists get this fucking bad rap, and it's like Russell Brand did this brilliant video about it. I try not to watch certain stuff. He's just so informative, but like, because I want to do my own takes on things, but like people keep saying like Russell, Jim Brewer, obviously Rogan's the head, and they say like, hey, you have these like-minded sensibilities, and I do. Like, and Russell Brand's had this brilliant, go watch it, about lack of transparency is why conspiracy theorists exist. And I guess she's being very transparent. It's like, you have to understand what's the most innocent thing in our world are children. And what's the most evil thing you can do is fucking exploit them and fucking, you know what? Like, I can't even say it because I don't want to get dinged here. But here's my feeling. Here's my theory. Like, race is bigger than ever. Like, people are like, you know, all different races. Like today, the LA Times talked about somebody and they said, this young Latino man turned into a power broker. You know, I see, you know, race is being separated in many ways. People are like claiming their race, saying this is our thing. I feel like more than ever, right? And then you got gender, but gender's kind of being, you know, you have identity politics and you have cultural politics, and then gender's kind of being disbanded. And it's pretty much like people who believe in gender and then the genderless. And if you don't accept the genderless, then you're gender phobic and all this stuff, right? And so, hey, I just want to have a conversation. So if you start going and losing gender, which I think losing race would be better, because then we could, I understand people want to have and be with their cultures. I get it. But I think us bonding as humans will be better than us not having any form of, hey, you know, like, because what this is leading to, if I'm making sense here, is race politics seems to put a lot of division between us, right? Gender politics is doing it too, but the difference is there's no sexualization with race, okay? But the genders there are. So right now, this basically it goes into this I identify, and it goes back to the creep part I was talking about and all this stuff. It's like, how can you get mad? Yeah, if you're getting mad at that, you got to get fucking furious at this. So where are we at that you can, I mean, literally, you know, there's a dude out there who's 40 years old. Yeah, I identify as a baby. I identify as a baby. And I feel like I'm a baby, and I'm going to sleep in a bonnet. I mean, there's that show, fucking Taboo, where people eat their cushions and bicycles, and you know that shit, right? This one lady eats fucking 50 ice cream bars a day. And I mean, people have these fucking things, and they're called crazy fucking people. But listen, if every day someone came in and stabbed you with scissors, would you say he's at some point, if your fucking affliction is affecting others, you have to be fucking stopped. You know, my dog, I love my dog. He's a little poodle. And every morning I just fuck his ass. I put a little Alpo around his fucking little doodle hole. I just ram it. He's fine with it. I'm a poodle attracted person. I'm a pap. The dog's like, what the fuck is that? It's crazy, man.